Yo, what's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another one on today. I am TA of Noble Sports Entertainment. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. All right, guys, without further ado, we call this video The Blueprint. All right, guys, we want to talk about the blueprint, and we want to talk about Detroit Lions and why are they following and taking the blueprint from the New England Patriots. Number one, you need to know what the blueprint is. Number one is consistency. Number two is year in and year out winning. Number three is being able eventually to host up a Super Bowl trophy at the end of the season. And this is the blueprint that has been passed from Bill Belichick over to Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. So basically, guys, if we want to have a franchise that changes the culture, we need to understand what it takes to win, what motivates the players, and how can you get the best out of the players to be the most effective out on the field. And I definitely think that Bill Belichick has gotten the best out of the talent that he's had on his team. Not having too many star wide receivers, but having a quarterback like Tom Brady, who was able to just play at a high level for a long time. We know that Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowl rings, as well as Belichick. And definitely, this is the reason why we're calling this video The Blueprint, because we're taking everything that we learn. And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. And we're bringing it over to a franchise that has never won, don't know what it takes to win, and we're trying to change that culture. And it is nothing probably more fun than being able to change a culture, to be able to write a new narrative in Detroit. And I definitely think that Matt, Patricia, and Bob Quinn have the blueprint. Now, the number one thing is having guys buy in from day one on what we're trying to do. And the goal is simply this, is to win a Super Bowl trophy. At the end of the season, we know that it's all these 30-some odd teams that are trying to win the Super Bowl. But the blueprint for years have been the New England Patriots getting there consistently, whether they are in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl. They have been able to be consistent by getting into the playoffs every single year. And the only way I think that the Detroit Lions can change the narrative about this culture is win games. And even so, then they're still going to be on our backs. But it's okay, because we know that we're taking the blueprint from New England, and we're trying to build depth on our team. We're trying to have players on our team that understand from day one that the number one goal is to win the Super Bowl and to get into the playoffs and to be consistent every year. That's the blueprint that New England Patriots have put out here. That number one, they're consistent every year, which means they're going to eventually make it to the playoffs. Number two, when you get to the playoffs, you got to make some noise. And number three, eventually hosting up the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. And I definitely think that Bill Belichick has talked with Matt Patricia on how to get these things done. But it's not going to be easy for Detroit. We know that. And I'm not saying, guys, that Detroit is going to be the Super Bowl champions this year. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is we're working on a winning culture and trying to build a culture that we can sustain, and that we can get consecutive victories every single year. And you notice that with the draft this year, we built for depth. And the main thing is being able to follow the blueprint of the New England Patriots is simply this, to be able to go out there and be consistent. Detroit Lions have not been consistent, or have they ever been consistent at all? They have not. And now it's time to make those wrongs and make them right. And by following the blueprint of the New England Patriots, not saying that the Detroit Lions are trying to be the New England Patriots, because they cannot. But what they can do is start winning football games. And when you start winning football games and start beating teams that they don't expect you to beat, then you realize that the culture is changing in Detroit. And if Detroit is able to have a great and successful year this season, then it starts from day one taking that blueprint from Bill Belichick, making sure that as he passed you down the mantle, as he passed the mantle down to Bob Quinn and over to Matt Patricia, these guys are understanding what it's going to take to change Detroit culture, what is it going to take to start winning football games, and what is it going to mean to start beating teams that they don't expect you to win. And I definitely think that Matt Patricia knows what it takes. It's going to take everything to change this franchise around from a loser into a winner. We already know that the Detroit Lions have been the doormats of the NFL for a very, very long time. But this season, we're coming. A lot of teams take us for granted every single season. But I'm telling you guys, we got the blueprint in our hand. And long as we open up that blueprint and understand what we need to do, like I told you guys before I started saying all of this, we have to be consistent. We have to win year in and year out. If we want to change the narrative about how the media feels about us and how they think about us, then we start winning football games. And that's something that the culture has to do. It's to find the blueprint, know what the blueprint is, keep that blueprint on you at all times, and follow the example. And then you can ride off in the wind eventually with a Super Bowl title. I'm out of here. Peace.